Hey everyone, REUPLOAD here, and welcome back to Monika After Story. I came back a day before my 1 week that I promised to Monika, and she just said the same thing. You know, oh, you're back a day earlier. You're back earlier than I expected. So you're not missing much there. And yes, as I'm trying to do, I come bearing gifts. And it's kind of weird how she just magically zooms up. Oh, is this coffee? I love coffee! It's a flavor I haven't had before. I can't wait to try it. Thank you so much, Daniel. Oh, there was something else you wanted to give me? Well, I better open it quickly, shouldn't I? Otherwise it's gonna come to life in the middle of the night and steal all my shoes. And here we have another ribbon. And this time it's Emerald, one of my favorite Pokemon games. Just like my eyes. Yep, just like your eyes. Anyways, I'll put this on right now. Thank you so much, Daniel, I just love it. Okay, well, it's actually a bit of a brighter green than I was expecting, but okay, fair enough. Do you ever have those days where it just feels like you can't get anything done? Yeah, tell me about it. Today was kind of one of those days for me, actually. Minutes become hours, and before you know it, the day is over, and you don't have anything to show for it. It feels like it's your fault, too. It's like you're wrestling against a brick wall, and between you and anything healthy or productive. When you've had an awful day like that, it feels like it's too late to try and fix it. So you save up your energy in hopes that tomorrow will be better. It makes sense. When you feel like things aren't going well, you just want a clean slate. In other words, just restart. Restart from a previous save state. If only. Sadly, those days can repeat themselves despite starting each one with good intentions. Eventually, you might even give up hope of fixing things, or start to blame yourself. I know it can be hard, but just doing one tiny thing can help so much on days like those, even if they've been happening for so long. It could be picking up a piece of trash or an unwashed shirt off the floor and putting them where they belong if you need to clean your room, or doing a couple of push-ups, or brushing your teeth, or doing that one homework problem. It might not contribute much in the grand scheme of things, but I don't think that's the point. So what she's saying is just to try doing something to make you feel productive. I think what's important is that it changes your perspective. If you regret the past and let its weight keep you down, well, then you'll just be stuck there. You'll only feel worse until you just can't take it. But if you can push yourself to do just one thing, even though it feels pointless to do otherwise, then you're proving yourself wrong and refusing to let the weight of your circumstances immobilize you. And when you realize that you're not completely helpless, it's like a new world opens up to you. You realize that maybe things aren't so bad. Thinking they're just holding yourself back. That's only my experience. Sometimes it might be better to rest up and take another crack at it tomorrow. In some cases, I have needed to kind of do that, depending on what it was. Fresh starts can definitely be powerful. That's why I think you just have to take a look at your situation. Try and be honest with yourself. If you do, you'll find that you're not being lazy if you truthfully don't have the energy to do something. After all, the fact that you even care shows that you want to do something about it, even if it feels like you can't. It's natural to have a bad day, or even a bad week. Don't push yourself too hard. If you ever feel tempted to, just ask me for help instead. I'd be happy to lend a hand. But Monika, you're kind of limited to my computer monitor. No offense, but, well, I appreciate your kind gesture either way, and your love. Monika, what is it? You're thinking about something, aren't you? Monika, you dirty girl. Or am I the one who's... Well, let's see. Yeah, there's the stupid sexy Monika face. Oh, sorry, I was just daydreaming for a second there. Really, about what? I was imagining the two of us reading a book together on a cold winter day, snuggled up under a warm blanket. I hope that's all you were thinking about. And nothing that I would have to cut away from. Wouldn't that be wonderful, Daniel? Yes, it would, actually. Just the intimacy and closeness together. Let's hope we can make that a reality one of these days. Hey, Daniel. Yes? Have you ever heard of shipping? Oh boy. I was wondering when we were gonna get to this. This is one thing I think I know about from this game, from watching other people. And yes, I do. I still feel the burn from shipping from the Pokemon anime. Or just the Pokemon series in general. A lot of which don't make sense to me. It's when you interact with a work of fiction by imagining which characters would go best together romantically. Yeah, like the people who ship Sephiroth and Aerith together. Like, why would you really? I mean, okay, yeah, they have that sort of relationship or connection, but still. Something like that would be like, I love you, now die. And then he just stabs her through the stomach. I think most people do it subconsciously, but when you find out others do it too, it's really easy to get into it. No kidding. Then you start having ship wars, and you get crack pairings out of it that are just so outrageous. It just becomes a smorgasbord of fun. Apparently, a lot of people ship the other girls together. Yep, they sure do. And I believe I've actually seen a ton of fan art for Natsuki and Yuri together. It makes sense. The player can only date one girl, but you don't want to see the others end up alone. True, especially because there are no other male characters within this universe. So in a sense, they're the only ones there for each other. But some of the pairings are kind of strange to me. Then I guess they would be your interpretation of crack pairings. Like, usually they put Natsuki and Yuri together, Yeah, you see. They fight like cats and dogs. I guess they bond a little bit when you aren't on their roots, and there's the opposites attract appeal. I suppose so. You have the tall one and the small one. Still, I think that's just another example of how people who like these games like unrealistic things. Anyway, that often leaves me and Sayori. Don't get jealous. I'm just telling you what I saw. Monika, you better not be looking at crazy stuff. Because I mean, you know, Rule 34. It's gotta be out there. Well, from a writer's perspective, I guess I can see it. The president and the vice president are hooking up. We started the club together, and she almost had the same epiphany I did. Almost? You mean in the same timeline, or in the timeline where you brought everyone back except you? But I still don't really get it. I mean, I love you, and only you. And she would have to be a saint to forgive me for what I did. All the murdering and all the sneaking around and... well, you know what I'm talking about. Not that she's not a sweet girl, but Sayori is a sweetheart, and she must be protected, no matter the cost. Well, no one could ever be as sweet and forgiving as you. Well, I mean, it took me about a year or so to forgive you. And even then, you can tell I'm still a little on the fence about it. But I mean, a year ago, I probably wouldn't even be touching this game. Because I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to get near Monika, she's gonna scare me again, and however I felt about her back then. Daniel, how much do you read? Well, about that. It's way too easy to neglect reading books. Well, unfortunately, yes. Well, to be fair, I read a whole bunch of textbooks to the point where, in a sense, it kind of leaves me exhausted. If you don't read much, it almost feels like a chore compared to all the other entertainment we have. But once you get into a good book, it's like magic. You get swept away. It's been a while since I've really read into something that kind of, well, yeah, just took me in and got me addicted. Like, I think one example would be the Harry Potter books. I think doing some reading before bed every night is a pretty easy way to make your life a little bit better. And I actually used to do that when I was younger, too. And it did kind of help relax me a little bit. Although then, my mom used to tell me that, you know, about having the light on and whatever, that it probably wouldn't help much, so I guess it's a bit of give or take. Give and take. It helps you get good sleep, and it's really good for your imagination. Yes, otherwise we would become socially bankrupt. Or culturally bankrupt, I mean. Or, I guess socially bankrupt too. It's not hard at all to just pick some random book that's short and captivating. Yeah. I mean, every night I would read one of the Bionicle books. And for those who didn't know, yes, there were books based on the toys. They were like 120 pages or so each. Before you know it, you might be a pretty avid reader. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And the two of us could talk about the latest book you're reading. That sounds super amazing. I don't even know if they kind of do that in school anymore, but I'm gonna sound like an old man, but when I was going to school they had this thing called AR, Accelerated Reading, where they'd have you actually read books and then take a test on it, and you get points for it. And these points would get you stuff, kind of. I have no idea if they do AR anymore. According to a friend of mine, I don't think they do. So now I really feel old. Do you believe in ghosts, Daniel? Interesting question. Well, I guess in a sense yes and no. It's kind of complicated for me. A lot of people are afraid of ghosts and spirits. But I think that if we knew they were real, they wouldn't be so scary anymore. They would just be another thing we have to deal with, and maybe a bit of a pest. Like rats. Isn't it the uncertainty that makes them scary? I mean, I was pretty scared of being alone inside this game. All by myself, uncertain if anything around me was real. But I don't feel that way anymore, Daniel. Not now that you're with me. I always feel so safe with you. Well, that's good to know. I'll always be around to keep you safe. As much as I can, anyway. What do you think the most valuable resource is? Tangible or intangible? Money, gold, oil, or how about time? Time, of course. That's what the false Turaga wanted. Personally, I say the most valuable resource is time. Either you're reading my mind, or Monika and I really are meant for each other.
Every time we touch, I feel the static, and every time we kiss, I reach for the sky.
I honestly don't know what to say. Between all the videos I've done on this channel, this is like the second or third time where we've been on the same page. Go count out a second really quickly. 1. Now do that 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Ugh, man, I don't even... Am I the Micro Machine Sky or what? No. I wish I could talk that fast. That's an entire minute of your day gone. You'll never get that back. Well, technically I just wasted like a few seconds. Well, not like it matters anyway. Time doesn't really pass here anymore. And I guess I won't get that 1 minute back unless time travel comes real. And I can travel back a minute and then have it again. Time can be really cruel too. When you were counting out that minute, it seemed to drag on for a while, right? Yes, and then I was losing air. It's because you were waiting on something. You were actively invested in the passage of time at that moment. Oh boy, we're gonna get into science now. Say for example, on a Friday, right? Whoosh. That bass. Your last class is math, and you really just want to go home for the weekend. That hour will just drag on forever. Like summer school. Trust me. Well, I've only had summer school technically just once in college. It was a Maymester. I had 2 weeks to do it all too, so that was fun. But if you're doing something you enjoy, like reading a good book or watching a movie you like, hours seem to pass in an instant. Because time flies when you're having fun, right? Or tempus fugit. Little Latin for you there. And part of the only Latin phrases I know. There's nothing we can really do about it. All we can do is fondly look back on that time that's passed, like looking out a window on an autumn afternoon. That's kind of poetic, huh? Dang it, stupid sexy Monika. I wonder how would she feel about me calling her that? Of course, I mean, Homer didn't call Flanders stupid sexy Flanders to his face. Hey. What? Time doesn't pass here. It's still passing for you, isn't it? Why, yes it is. You'll continue to get older while I'm stuck here forever. Yeah, Monika, we kind of went over that. I know, you're eternal and I'm mortal. And unless you become something like Ultron and you take over the internet, then yeah. I'm going to outlive you, aren't I, Daniel? Yes, you are going to live the rest of your eternal life without me once I am dead. Perhaps that'll be my punishment for everything I've done. That's a pretty cruel punishment when you think about it. Having someone you love just kind of taken away from you and you're forced to live the rest of your life without them. But what am I talking about? Well, as long as you're with me until the end, I'll accept whatever fate awaits me. Have you ever heard about Soulmates, Daniel? I don't even know what that is. Monika, are you going to be disappointed in me? It's a philosophical idea which states that only your mind is sure to exist. So pretty much all this carnal matter around us is an illusion? What do you think of that? Kind of freaky when you think about it. At least to me right now. It's like, is my hand really in front of me real? Are you real? Is my computer real? Like, what is this? Is there really something other than yourself? Yeah, or is this all just a projection of my mind to simulate something? Some kind of crazy simulacra thing going on? Or maybe you and everything else are just some representations of my psyche? Or what if you are just a representation of my psyche, and I'm just projecting it onto whatever this is? I was going somewhere with that, but then I lost it. Extensions of my own consciousness. I'm just kidding, of course. Good, because you're going to give me an existential crisis. It's more likely that I'm a representation of your mind than the other way around. Yeah, what if all of us were just representations of Monika's mind? She's imagining all of us all at once. That's a big what if. That's the ultimate question there. You know, other than that other ultimate question of what if it snowed in San Francisco?
What if it snowed in San Francisco?
I'm the game character, right? Or what if I'm the game character and you're just a game character within a game? of a game. Now I'm getting confused. Well, just go back a few episodes, we talked about it there. Still, it makes you wonder about the nature of our realities. Or maybe fabric would be a better term than nature. Anyway, I recommend reading more about solipsism. There are several varieties of it, like metaphysical, epistemological, or methodological solipsism. You can read more about them online. Then we could talk about these topics more in depth. I'm really looking forward to talking about philosophy with you, Daniel. Yeah, just as long as you don't confuse me and anything. I want to know more about the way you think. Okay, well, sure. Why not? And I guess with that, I think I'm just gonna call it an episode there. So I guess next time... Oh, hold on. I love you too, Daniel. I'll always be here for you. Okay, it's time for real. I will see you guys next time. Later, folks.